Hello everyone, this is Module 3 Overview of Channel Structure of LTE. So, first topic in this module is Design Principles of LTE. So, we have listed here 7 design principles. First one is network architecture, second one is data and latency, third one is performance requirements. Performance requirements of LTE are in terms of spectrum efficiency, mobility, coverage, MBMS service. Fourth one is radio resource management. Fifth one is deployment scenarios and coexistence with 3G. Sixth one is flexibility of spectrum and deployment. Seventh one is interoperability with 3G and 2G network. So these are the design principles of LTE. So now we will study one by one of these design principles. So first we will study network architecture. So this is a network architecture. So in network architecture, LTE network was designed to support fully packet switched traffic. So previously existing your 3G and 2G networks, they support both circuit switched and packet switched. For example, for you in UMTS, that is 3G network. So in UMTS, for telephone for voice conversation, they use circuit switched, and for data network they use a packet switched. But in case of LTE network, it is fully packet switched network. So you can say LTE is a clean slate approach. It supports packet switching from the start. From the start it supports a packet switching. So LTE radio access network is designed to have a minimum number of interface elements, while still it is able to provide a efficient packet switch traffic for all the quality of service classes. That is about network architecture. Next is data rate and latency. Second design principle is data rate and latency. So design target when operating with 20 MHz FDD channel size, the downlink data rate is 100 Mbps and uplink data rate is 50 Mbps. This is about data rate. Next, latency. What do you mean by latency? It is a time required to transmit a small IP packet from UV to the edge node of the RAN, that is from UV to the E node B. Okay, so one way latency in user plane is 5 milliseconds. So next design principle is performance requirements. As I said, performance requirements of LTE are in terms of spectrum efficiency, mobility, coverage, MBMS service. So we can measure in these 4 types. So first we will study spectrum efficiency. The average user downlink data rate and spectrum efficiency target is 3 to 4 times the baseline HSDPA network. It is 3 to 4 times the baseline HSDPA network. Similarly, for the uplink, the spectrum efficiency is 2 to 3 times baseline HSUPA network. So for the uplink it is 2 to 3 times the baseline HSUPA network, and for the downlink the data rate and spectrum efficiency target is 3 to 4 times the baseline HSDPA network. See here, HSDPA is high speed downlink packet access, HSUPA is high speed uplink packet access. Here D for downlink and HS UPA, U for uplink. Next performance requirement is mobility. Okay, mobility. Maximum performance is expected for lower terminal speeds of 0 to 15 km per hour. So when this mobile unit is moving with a speed of 0 to 15 km per hour, then you can expect a maximum performance. If the terminal is moving up to rate of 120 km per hour, if it is moving 120 km per hour, there is a minor degradation in the performance. If the terminal is moving 350 km per hour, sustain a connection with a significant degradation in performance. This is about mobility. For low speed, that is 0 to 15 km per hour, there will be maximum performance expectation, and for medium speed like 120 km per hour, there is a minor degradation in the performance, and for 350 km per hour, there is sustain a connection, but there is a significant degradation in the performance. Next, coverage. Cell coverage. You know that in a cell structures, cells will be hexagonal cells. The cells used are of shape hexagonal cells. If hexagonal cells up to 5 km coverage, the target mobility speed and spectrum efficiency are met. So whatever we defined before, that target mobility speeds and spectrum efficiency is met for a cell coverage of 5 km. For a cell coverage little greater than 5 km, that is for 30 km, there is a slight degradation in the user throughput is tolerated, and more significant degradation for spectrum efficiency is acceptable. But mobility requirements must be met. If a cell coverage up to 100 km is there, then it is not possible to meet the that specifications mentioned above. If it is cell coverage is up to 100 km, then it is not possible to meet the specification. Next is in performance requirements, last one is MBMS, multimedia broadcast and multicast service. So multimedia is what? Multimedia is text, image, audio and video. So broadcasting of this information, multimedia information and multicasting service, those are registered for this service, they become multicast service. Okay, so it will provide MBMS service that is greater, the enhanced than your UTRA operation. Compared to your UTRA operation, LTE supports enhanced MBMS service. Next design principle is radio resource management. The radio resource management requirements cover various aspects such as enhanced support for end-to-end quality of service, enhanced support for transmission of higher layer, support for load sharing, balancing and policy management, enforcement across different radio access technologies. Next design principle is deployment scenario and coexistence with 3G. LTE supports two deployment scenarios. First one is standalone scenario and second one is integrating with the existing UTRAN and GERAN deployment scenario. So what is the standalone scenario? Standalone scenario is one where there is no any previous networks like 2G network, 3G networks are not available. There you can deploy our LTE system, LTE network. That is standalone scenario. That is one deployment scenario. Second one is integrating with the existing 2G and 3G networks. Integrating with existing second generation, that is GERAN and UTRAN networks. That is about deployment scenario and coexistence with 3G. Next is flexibility of spectrum and deployment. So what is our aim? LTE aim is it want to become a global standard. LTE wants to become a truly global standard. So LTE was designed to operate under wide variety of spectrum scenarios, including its ability to coexist with the existing 3G technologies and share spectrum with this. So whatever the existing technologies are there, it want to share the spectrum with the existing 3G technologies. So it want to become a globally standard. So for that it uses scalable bandwidth from 1.4 megahertz to 20 megahertz. So LTE is designed to have a scalable bandwidth from 1.4 megahertz to 20 megahertz. Why it want to use a scalable bandwidth? Because it want to coexist with the existing 3G technologies and share its spectrum with this. And also, in order to accommodate flexible duplexing options, LTE can operate in both FDD and TDD modes. Okay, last design principle is interoperability with 3G and 2G networks. So, LTE supports both 3G and 2G networks. What is 3G network? UTRAN or UTRAN, that is UMTS terrestrial radio access network. UTRAN is UMTS terrestrial radio access network, that is 3G network. GERAN is GSM edge radio access network. So both this 2G and 3G networks. So LTE supports this 2G and 3G operations. It supports handover from 2G or 3G systems to LTE or from LTE to 2G or 3G systems. This is all about your design principles of LTE.